Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, how is everybody doing on this lovely Saturday morning? Well, it's almost Saturday lunchtime here. It's brunch time, I guess you could say. It is almost 11 Central AM here. So, brunch time, and I think I wanted to do a stream sort of. I've been reading about folk magic. So, I wanted to do a little talk about folk magic. Hey, Sean, how are you? Hope you're doing well this morning. Well, morning, afternoon, right? Brunch. This brunch hour. It's not too early, not too late, a little in between. Hey, Bass, how are you, bro? Good to see you. Hey, Red, good to see you, girl. How's a little bit? Night Wolf, how are you doing? Haven't seen you for a little while. You guys, I am having a fan freaking tastic day. I have been doing some research and I have enjoyed it. I'm reading a book um called Backwoods Folk Magic, I believe it is. It's about folk magic in the Appalachias or Appalachias, however you want to pronounce it. Oh, she heard me say hi. Love you, little bit. Love you, sweet daughter. I miss you. We need to chat soon. Oh, it's snowing there, Sean. Oh, wow. It is bright and beautifully sunny here today. It is rather chilly, though. At 8 o'clock this morning, it was 36 degrees, so it's rather chilly here. But I was reading about folk magic, like I said, in the Appalachia, however you want to pronounce it. And they have a tendency and have always had a tendency, regardless of ancestral lineage, um, because I've learned that a lot of them have African ancestors in their lineage, a lot of them have Cherokee ancestry in their lineage, and Scottish. Um, that they tend to use the Bible not only as the Bible of Word of God, but also during spell work. And hey, how are you? And I thought that was pretty interesting. And it's not really nothing new, but I thought it was interesting because I came across one to stop bleeding in man and beast. And believe it or not, they used the Bible verse Ezekiel 16:6. And when I passed by thee and saw thee polluted in thine own blood, I saw unto thee when thou wast in thy blood live. Yea, I said unto thee when thou wast in thy blood live. And that's one of the things they use and recite to stop bleeding, which is actually a form of spell work. Oh, Sean, you're Cherokee and Irish? I know I'm Irish and English and probably a little Scottish, but I don't know what else. My grandmother's always said we've had Native American, I think it was Choctaw, but I'm going to be honest with you, I'm paper white and I'm not banking on any of it. I'm not saying I don't, I'm just saying it might have skipped me because I look I look more Irish than anything, if you want to be honest about it. I look white as white can be, paper white, Casper white, with red tint hair and big green eyes. That's me. Saw that with the seventh son of a seventh son do that. Oh, wow. I also found that they do two different ones for prosperity. They will recite Ezekiel 36 from 29 to 30. I will save you from all your uh hold on uncleanness. I will call for the grain and make it plentiful and will not bring famine upon you. I will increase the fruit of the trees and of the crops of the field so that you will no longer suffer disgrace among the nations because of famine. They will recite that one for doing prosperity work, or they will also use Proverbs 8:18 through 21. Riches and honor are with me, enduring wealth and righteousness. My fruit is better than gold, even fine gold, and my yield than choice silver. I walk in the way of righteousness in the paths of justice, granting an inheritance to those who love me and filling their treasuries. So, a little bit says right there, well, yes, she's Irish. Irish up in the thing, so you're not alone. Oh, hearts a little bit. Extra hearts to her and her little Irish self. Um, but I know, like I said, that, we have Catholicism used in a lot of hoodoo and Santeria. And I just find that, we have a lot of Southern Baptists and Protestants in general up in the hills literally using the Bible as spell work. It's not unheard of, it's not uncalled for, but it makes you think, are these stories that we hear actually rituals and spells? Is that what they're considered? Ritual and spells, if you can take bits and pieces of it to use? Because that's what I'm reading. I don't know if what I'm reading and interpreting is wrong. Very well could be. I just find that they've never lost the sight of God, but they have still, in turn, put forth their practice as well by using the two consecutively. Hey, Marquita, how are you? Hope you're doing great on this Saturday. But I find that a lot of what I'm coming into in the book has a lot to do with the Bible. Their beliefs, their systems of spell work, their hexing and cursing, for example. They believe in eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. However, do not impede more than what was given unto thee. That means don't do anything worse than what was done to you back, because you will tip the scales. It means make sure that what you do fits the crime that was done. And I find that extremely interesting, that they're not against it. They're not against hexing. They're not against cursing in the backwoods, but it's just don't tip the scales. Keep the scales equal. If somebody slaps you on the right cheek, turn around, not necessarily slap them on the left, but do a punishment that would fit the crime of them slapping you on the right cheek. If that's your choice, instead of taking the high road. And a lot of times they turn to the Bible to look for ways to pay back the price that's due. God is everywhere intense. Words have power, no matter the faith. Sean, you are exactly right. And that's why I'm loving the book I'm reading. I'm not in it very far, but I'm in it enough to say that I'm really digging the book. I really am, because it's not witchcraft based, it's not Christian based, it is a slew of This is how these people have taken their spirituality and their faith and meshed it together and have made it work for them. They still believe in God. They're still considered Christian people, but yet they're still practitioners too of their faith and their spirituality and of the ancient ways. And they have been able to put two and two together. And I find that absolutely amazing that they can put two and two together and still, without a trade off, still be able to keep their faith, still be able to keep their goal and their sight on their God, regardless of, what God it is. They've kept that, they've kept him in sight. And I find that is most powerful and absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The way the people of the hills have meshed together everything. I find it beautiful. I really, really do. I know I've done some ancestor lineage genealogy looking up and things like that, and I've got ancestors that have come over by the Isle of Wight and have come in through Virginia and stuff and stayed there for a little bit and have come on down. But I wonder, how many of those stayed in the hills instead of, because some of them come on south, but instead of coming on down south, how many of them stayed in the hills? That's where I'm having the problem. Did any stay, or did they all migrate south? I would love to know that. I would love to know if that's because my grandmother says we have, she does granny, or she did what's called granny folk magic, which is basically the same thing. She went to church, had her Bible, but she also, knew how to heal in ways and plants that did this and herbs that did that and old wives' tales and old remedies and superstitions. And she was into all that stuff. Don't take a broom and sweep somebody's feet with it. If they do, have them spit on the broom. If a broom falls unexpectedly, unexpected company's coming. You know, she raised me on all things like that. You put chimes on your doors so you know when spirits come in your house if nobody's opening the door. The reason why people used to have to knock on doors, here's the big thing that I learned. House talking. They say that houses can obtain energy and keep energy stored in a house, right? You walk in a house, sometimes the energy just fills off and sometimes it doesn't. Well, it said that you're supposed to talk to your house because houses become alive. When you come in your door, that's why you used to see gentlemen come in the door and greet, "Hey honey, I'm home." He wasn't necessarily speaking to his wife, he was speaking to his house too. And when they leave, you either say thank you or see you later, I'll be back. Not necessarily speaking to out loud to anyone, but speaking to the house. And the house would learn this energy of the person to where it said that you could literally be in your house and ask your house an answer, and you may hear a squeak, a cabinet door shut, different, but houses become alive and contain their own energy. And it said that the reason why people used to knock on doors wasn't necessarily to get the attention of the homeowners. It was to let the house know that it was a human, not a spirit, trying to enter the home. Marquita said, my grandmother's house has a lot of different energy. Sean, my house reacts to people. I know a few that this house does not like. Sean, exactly. Exactly. They say that it's called house talking, and they say that your house can become alive. And it reminded me, I don't know if any of you have ever seen that kid movie called Monster House, where the house becomes alive. It's becomes like a monster-ish type thing, but that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of that little kid movie, Monster House, that came out several years ago for little kids. And that's what it reminds me of. Like, if you've got energy, if the house is upset with you, it's upset with you. Things are going to go wrong. Things are going to happen. If your house is happy with you and you've got good energy flowing from one to the other and you're giving it some fresh air, you're letting light in. My grandmother always said, keep the darkness in the corners, if anything. That means open up your windows and your curtains and let the sunlight in to banish the darkness in your house. I'm drinking coffee, you guys. I have me a iced caramel coffee, extra caramel. Yeah, Marquita, you know what movie I'm talking about then. That's what it reminds me of when they say house talking. It reminds me of that little kid movie, Monster House, where the house becomes alive. It really does. It makes me, want to make sure that the energy in my house is kept on par, and superb, because I don't want my house to become a monster house like the movie. I prefer not. I prefer, my cabinet doors not to swing open and my dishes fly out at my head or something. No, thank you. I'm not into that. Not into that at all. But I just thought it was interesting reading about the folk magic and the use of the way they use the Bible. I mean, I know I've gotten several things to, use the Bible to get rid of this attachment or get rid of this negative energy or something like that, especially attachments. Now, I know that's a thing, but I did not know that it was a thing to stop bleeding from man and beast. There was, something to recite from Ezekiel. I did not know that. I did not know that was used. I thought it was fascinating when I read it that they do that. They still do that to this day. This is back in the days, and they still use these things today. This isn't just, back in the old days and now today they just slap a band-aid on it. No, there are people out there that still do these things, that still use the verses out of the Bible as spell work in their practice and in their everyday living, because that's what they know. They have been able to mesh their faith and their spirituality together so well that it's two has become one. And I just find it absolutely fascinating. And like I said, the book is called, I think it's called Backwoods. It's Backwoods something. I think it's Backwoods in Appalachia, Backwoods Mountain Magic, Backwoods Folk Magic. It's Backwoods something. It's a green book with forest on the front of it. You can't really miss it if you just type in Backwoods on Amazon and look for it. But I'm reading it actually on Scribd. So if you have a Scribd account, SCRIBD, you can get a free trial. If not, I think it's $9.99 a month. And they have tons of books and audiobooks on there to listen to. They have all about uh spirituality, witchcraft, cryptids, fiction, nonfiction, romance, thriller, you name it. It's on there. Sci-fi, whatever you're looking for, most likely you will find on there. Or if not find on there, you will find something similar. You're right, Marquita. Some houses do have that dark energy. You're absolutely right. I don't go to a lot of houses either. And usually I base it off the way the person is. If I'm just around that person and I can tell they have a little, a little something off with them, I won't go to their house. Not at all. Oh, Sean, I'm glad I reminded you of a memory. I am so glad. I can't wait to read your indie ebooks. I'm telling you, I'm ready. I'm ready for them to be done. Morning, Bear. How are you? Hope you're doing great. I'm just doing a quick live stream. Thought I'd come on here and talk a little bit of folk magic and a little bit of house talking, as it's called, and see what everybody was up to. I haven't done one in a little bit. So I thought I'd just drop in and say hello while I had, a few moments to kill and a cigarette to smoke. Taking a break. My day has been full of research, and I have had breakfast. I have coffee. I have been doing research. I love it because my house is quiet, so I'm able to concentrate right this minute while everybody's chilling. Just, hey, Shock, good morning. Or almost good lunch here because it's 11:18 a.m. Central Time. So we're brunching it today. But it's good to see y'all. Good to see you in chat. Hope your weekend's been very pleasant. I did McDonald's this morning for breakfast, y'all. I shouldn't have. I should have ate at home, but I had to have me a McGriddle. Mm. I get the bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles. Those things are so good. I love them. So I treated myself. Well, actually, Vault treated me to McGriddle this morning. It was so good. It is a nice day out here too, Shock. Like I said, it's sunny. It's a little chilly. I've got a little heater on in my bedroom right now because I've been cold since yesterday, but that's just me. Thin blood, I guess. But it is a very, very beautiful day outside. The sun is shining here in a little bit. I'm going to cut the heater off and open up the windows and get some of that crisp, cool air blowing through. Get some of that good outside energy in here. Oh, it's raining in Washington. We got snow where Sean's at, sun where I'm at, and we got rain where Bear. Well, we have some rain. We have some rain coming up next week, I think. Of course, we had tornado weather last week, so you know. Oh, we got sun in Pennsylvania. Yes, Red, those McGriddles are everything. They really are delicious, I have to say. Probably not the best and healthiest thing to eat, but they are delicious themselves. They really are. But like I said, if y'all are interested in reading about folk magic and witchcraft in a sense, in a way that's wrote in a folk magic style about the Appalachias or Appalachia, like I said, however you care to pronounce it, check out the book. It's called Backwoods Something. It's a green book with like a forest on the front of it. Check it out. It's really, really interesting. I don't know what degree it is here. Like I said, about 8 o'clock this morning, it was about 36. So it's warming up some, but it's not. It hasn't warmed quite up enough yet for me to open the window up. So I figure here about 1 o'clock, I'll open my window up and get some of that good breeze in here. Take the dog out to potty. Vault's dog Zeus. He's a little potty monster. That's for sure. Y'all should have seen him the other day. The wind was blowing and it was blowing his fur. And he was jumping up and flip-flopping trying to catch the wind. It was the cutest thing ever. He did a whole belly roll and went rolling down the hill because he was trying to catch the wind and couldn't catch it and jumped and missed. It was the funniest thing. I laughed so hard. I laughed and laughed and laughed at him. There's a legendary place near you where a movie was made about folk magic tragedy called Ray Myers Hollow. Oh, awesome. Ray Myers Hollow. I need to look that up. I was reading last night about the Appalachian Woods and have many more cryptids than anywhere else in the USA. You know, Red, I heard that too. I haven't read that, but I've heard that. And I honestly believe it. I will look that up, Shock. I sure will. I surely will. Ray Myers Hollow. I sure will look that up. I love things like that. And I don't know why, but I have not necessarily a pull, but more like a fascination with Appalachia and the trails and the nature of it and the whole 9 yards of it and the way the people live. And I don't know what it is. I just have a fascination with it. I've watched several documentaries on it. I've watched some good, some not. And I'm not saying bad documentaries. I'm just saying bad perspectives. They want to, how do I say, they want to more or less promote for views instead of doing the people justice and actually doing a pretty dang good documentary. They just want to expose them, and it's kind of sad. So, but I just have a fascination with it. I really do. And when I found this book and started reading this book, I knew about the book and I was going to buy it. But when I found it, I refound it on Scribd. And when I refound it on Scribd, I was like, hey, I've been meaning to check out this book. So I started reading it and I was like, ooh, this is interesting. And it really got me to thinking the way people can mesh things together and make it work on their personal journey, and the way whole communities can do it. Not just a person, but a family, and then a community and a whole area. I was absolutely amazed by it. Like I said, who knew that you could read Ezekiel 16:6 to stop bleeding in man and beast? Who knew it? Not saying it would work instantaneously now, but I do believe that things work. I do believe the power of prayer. I believe in everything like that. So why not? Why not, give it a try if that's a last resort, you know? Think about it. Some of these things, this is all the people had was a Bible. They were lucky to have food on the table. So, what they didn't kill, they didn't eat. They had to hunt and they had to collect and make do with what they could find. And like I said, what all they had was their Bible. So why not turn to the Bible for solving of problems, I guess you could say. And it turned into a whole practice, plus the practice that their ancestors brought with them, regardless of lineage. Because the African ancestors have a certain culture and lineage and practice that they had. The Cherokee had a certain lineage, culture, and practice that they had. Then the Scottish had certain beliefs, is same thing. And if you can mesh all these together, why not? I've seen a few rattlesnake bites from Holiness Church worship services. It's amazing the faith they have in the mountains. It really is, Sean. It really is. It is amazing the faith that they have. It's almost like I don't want to say pure faith alone is what they live on, but it ranks number one in their book is their faith. And then what they can do for themselves ranks number two. But their faith is always up there. They will always turn to the Bible looking for the answer, and then do their herbal remedies and their tinctures and whatever else they need to do. They know what to do because it's been passed down, tried and true, from family member to family member, folk to folk. It's absolutely beautiful to me. Absolutely beautiful. And just think, if everybody could do that, the world that we would have. The world that we would have. Wow. Hey, Dante, how are you? Happy almost lunchtime. Hope you're having a great Saturday. I know I am. Little Bit says the magic is stronger there, so these creatures are more drawn to the believers and such that have not forgotten. Red, that is a good point. I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. Don't work too hard, Dante. It's a Saturday. Weekend's supposed to be for rest and relaxation. But that does make, like Bear says, that does make sense. Red, that really does. Little Bit, she's wise beyond her years. Very, very wise beyond her years. She has an old soul. She's going to go far in this world. And she's going to do a lot of good, and she's going to save a lot of people. People in tribes that have not forgotten, she says, will see. Yeah. Which makes me wonder, those of us that have had encounters, I guess you could say, makes me wonder what type of lineage and genealogy we have in our blood. Could it be a reason that some of us are seeing things and some are not? Besides it being, a particular time, place, and the way, you hold your tongue in your mouth. Could it be because we actually, certain ones of us have certain genes in our DNA and we see them because we can see them of faith or belief or something passed down than others that have yet to see or can't see or won't believe? Do you think that saying having a soul is real? I do. I believe having an old soul. Yes, I firmly believe that some souls, not all, but I believe some people have, just like I believe some people are reincarnated, their consciousness, their higher consciousness is reincarnated. I believe some old souls, some people's turn of reincarnation has brought a soul back that's been through so many that it's probably its last reincarnation, and that makes it an old soul. But yes, I do believe that some people, I believe my son, my youngest son actually, I believe he has an old soul. I believe I know who his soul is or was before he got it, because he has the same speech, thought, mimic, and everything of a person that we knew of a different era that has been gone since before my son was born. And we think he got his soul put into him. And I know that's probably sounding, hey, Lucas, a little bit crazy, and that's okay. Not everybody believes. That's fine. It's not for everybody. But I firmly believe that he has his great grandfather's soul reincarnated in him. Because he looks like him, he talks like him, he walks like him. He doesn't like people like him. Like there's just checkoffs after checkoff after checkoff of things that he is exactly like his great grandfather was. So I think yes, he got his soul. And I think maybe it's because the soul reincarnates and this it's done reincarnated so many times. It's kind of like it ages kind of like the same way a human ages. It ages with us. And I believe that, you know, sometimes we get ones that are just older than most, and usually they tend to come in through family members or people close to family members. Sean says, I've got one more go with this reincarnation thing. I don't know how many I have or I know I've been reincarnated twice. I remember the whole thing of dying the first. I don't want to know. I don't know if it's the first time or if it was I think it was this last time though. I remember it because it was too modern day like it is now in the present. So I have that one I know, and I think I had one before that one, but other than that, I don't know how many. Um, and some things only a metaphysics scholar would come up with. True, Red. Lucas, we're talking about reincarnation and souls and things like that right this second. Is reincarnation instant upon death or is there something in between? Okay, this is the way I've had it described to me by a couple of people. And this is the way I have had it described to me. It doesn't mean it's right, it doesn't mean it's correct, and it doesn't mean it's actual fact. When we pass our earthly bodies, our higher consciousness or soul, whatever you want to call it, whatever whichever term you use, goes up. We go up into the heavens, basically. Whatever you want to call it, heavens, Summerland, you name it. We go through a process up there that basically gets us ready, takes our memories and our turmoils and our pain and stuff from this past life that we've just had. It resets us and gets us ready to send us back down. We are then brought back down and put into a mother to be reborn again. That's what I was told. That our higher consciousness or our soul, whatever you want to call it, goes through though it's kind of like a cleaning and prepping process until we're finally done. And then we're finally done, we move on to a completely higher plane of existence. We go back into the one, whether you consider the one God, whether you consider the one Jesus Christ, whether you consider the one divine being, higher consciousness, whatever it is. When you're finally done, you go back and integrate with that, whether you believe it's with aliens, whatever it is. We go back and integrate back into it. That's the way it was explained to me. Doesn't mean it's right, doesn't mean it's factual. That was just a way for that I was told and explained and I understood. You're right, Sean. Linear doesn't mean a thing there. You're right. It's as if time stands still, but yet moves forward as fast as anything, and then it's weird. It's weird. Very, very weird. I can remember seeing when my life literally flashed before my eyes in a tornado. I seen everything from the time I was conceived to the time I was born to being in ballet to school programs to when I met Vault to when I had kids to that very second that I was in that tornado. I got everything. I seen image after image like a movie slideshow that I was in. I got to sit there and watch it as my truck is spinning in a tornado. I seen everything. It was like I was in a different world, a different plane, a different time of existence, and should not have come back, but I did. Are you always brought back as the same sex, race, etc.? No, Bear. No. From what I understand, you can come back. Okay, if you're coming back as a human, you're gonna come back as a human. If you're here as a human, you're gonna be a human. From what I understand. But you may be a male one time, a female another time. You may be African one time, you may be Caucasian one time, you may be Japanese one time, Chinese one time. It just depends. And then you have to weave in your webs of fate as well. So as you come back with basically this check sheet. And you have chosen before you've been reincarnated in your prep area up in the heavens, you chose to have this problem in your life, this problem in your life, and this problem. So you'll learn these lessons. You come down here, you get reborn, and then you go through those lessons that you yourself have helped agree with beforehand that you're going to go through. That's why we go through these life lessons. It's because we have agreed upon them beforehand because we want to learn how it feels to handle it, how it feels to live through it, how we're supposed to act, what's going to happen. It strengthens our soul and our connection with the divine most high. I've written about events and seen myself experience others at the same time in my indie. Hard to convey that. Oh, I can't even imagine, Sean. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Yes, Red, Quantum Leap. That I remember that show. That was a good show back in the day, y'all. Who else remembers Quantum Leap? I used to watch that religiously. Your choice would be to come back as Vault's brother, Lakaya. Well, that's okay, Mr. Charles. I'm pretty sure he would love to have you come back as his brother. I'm pretty sure he would love to have that. The universe must think I'm a badass. You are, Red. You are. Hey, Judy, how are you? Spent hours in this weird loop while writing. I'm I'd be typing about something and it's like squirrel. That's the way I have gotten shown in my research. Just trying to research lately. I will sit down and start researching and I may get a paragraph in and it's like squirrel. And then I think about weirdly something from childhood that has nothing to do with anything. So I have been overly squirreling lately. So I can only imagine you while trying to write your NDE and your stories. I can only imagine how that is. Squirreling cage. Mine's on a wheel, just round and round and round and round. It'll fall off every once in a while, and I have to shake my head to get it back on the wheel. Because it's research, 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 off squirrel. But like I said, I've been squirreling about childhood memories. And it's the oddest childhood memories. The oddest childhood memories that I can imagine wanting to remember. It's not even like the good memories, it's just the weird ones. I don't know. I remembered how my grandmother used to, I don't know, this will give y'all a laugh. I don't know if y'all remember back in the 80s and 90s, early 90s, when they had colored toilet paper. Do y'all remember that? Where toilet paper you could buy was blue or pink. That was before the dye was bad for you thing. And they stopped making it. Now all toilet paper's white, but they had blue and pink toilet paper. I could remember, I swirled the other day and could remember my grandmother arguing which colored toilet paper to put out in her, because she had two restrooms, and one was the for in her house, one was the ladies' restroom, a powder room, and one was for the gentlemen when they come over, or my grandfather. Literally, they were separate, his and her bathrooms. And it's a big old house. And I can remember her arguing with herself what color toilet paper she wanted to put out. And I was just like, just put out the toilet paper. I've got to go. It doesn't matter what color, pink, purple, blue, green. I don't care. White, put it out. I got to go, Nene. Let me go. But she was arguing what color toilet paper. And that just totally randomly popped in my mind as I was researching the other day. That's the type of weird memories I keep having come up from childhood. Just weird stuff. So my research has been a little bit slow. Hey, little baby spooky bats. Do I think cults meet in the woods in the country? No. I do not think cults meet in the country in the woods. I do not. I think covens do when we feel like it, but I do not think cults do. I think cults usually have a base in a building somewhere, like a meet and greet. All the ones I've ever known, they've had a home or an office space or something like that, but not in the woods necessarily, no. Sean said, the last week I've recalled far more than I've ever recalled. Oh, wow. Awesome, Sean. Your grandmother always had colored toilet paper, Bear. I'm telling you, mine did too. I'm telling y'all, it was either pink. I remember pink and blue. I don't remember if there was a mint green. I want to say there was a mint green too, but I could be wrong. But I know there was pink and blue. Because she always bought pink and blue, pink and blue, pink and blue. Yeah, it was all going to the same place down. Mr. Charles, you're absolutely correct. Been in a situation you wonder what piece of clothing can be thrown away due to lack of toilet paper. Hey, Sean, socks. Little tip, socks. Just saying. You ever out in the woods? Socks. Hands down. Yeah, Julie, childhood memories. I'm telling you, my squirrel has ran off its rocker this week with childhood memories. Woods leaves. Yeah, but see, my luck, I'd grab like poison oak, ivy, or sumac, and then have a big old problem because I don't know the difference between any of them. So I would have a big old problem if I use leaves. So I'd choose socks. Lose a sock or two, hey, I can always buy a pack of 10, for a couple of bucks. Yeah, I just gotta remember which will cause a rash. Right? I know. Well, you guys, it has been fun chatting with you. We finally have made it almost to an hour. Getting back to my old ways, I guess you could say. I haven't had a long stream in a good while now. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. I don't know if I'm gonna stream tonight too. Go live, or I may do a recording if I go with Vault. I don't know if I'm going or not. I haven't made my mind up. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go and record sound or not. But if I don't, I will try to get back on here in the next few days and do another live. Like I said, it was great seeing everybody. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the weekend. Have some fun. You know, play in the snow, Sean. Play in the snow. Oh, hell go, Mr. Charles. I might. I'm not for sure. I'm still making up my mind if I want to go or not. But I will talk to you guys later. See you later. Love, peace, chicken grease. Bye.